Ask residents, if you're living in an apartment and your neighbor has a pit bull and you've complained to your landlord that the pit bull has attacked or exhibited aggressive behaviors, and the pit bull does in fact bite you or your family, can you hold your landlord responsible for the attack? Most likely, yes. Back in 2005, the plaintiff, a young boy, and his family lived in an apartment, a 4-unit house over in Walton, Mass., which was owned by the landlord. The tenant or the neighbor lived in another apartment at the premises and owned a pit bull. The neighbor had gotten the pit bull about 2 or 3 months prior to the incident from his son, who found him in the woods nearby. On July 18th, 2005, the neighbor's friends, and the pit bull were sitting on the front porch steps of the premises, and the young boy was playing with a sprinkler in the driveway of another property nearby. The pit bull bolted from the porch, ran down the stairs, leapt into the air, over the retaining wall separating the properties, and bit the young boy multiple times on the leg. The pit bull's attack was completely unprovoked. The bites caused serious damage to the young boy's leg, resulting in a 4-day hospital stay. At the time of the biting, the pit bull was unlicensed, not vaccinated for rabies, and was unrestrained, in violation of the Waltham leash law. Prior to this attack, the boy's father, a man named Lawrence, and the boy's mother, a woman named Elise, observed that the pit bull exhibited aggressive behavior. They called the landlord on several occasions to complain about the presence of dogs at the premises, most notably this pit bull. They complained that the pit bull generally ran around unleashed and aggressive, causing them to have safety concerns, and that the pit bull mounted their children at various times and the boy's mother on another occasion. Earlier in the summer of 2005, so about 4 years before this, another tenant at the same property had also claimed that this very pit bull had exhibited aggressive behaviors and I guess cornered her while she was unloading groceries from the car. There was also testimony that the landlord did not allow tenants to have any pets without his approval at the property, and that he did not approve of this particular pit bull living there. The landlord also testified that 7 or 8 years earlier, the neighbor the father of the boy who was attacked had kept dogs at the premises, and the landlord made him get rid of them. The father of the young boy testified that the landlord made him get rid of dogs he owned at the premises. So there's a lot going on here. So what happened? Well, ultimately, the boy's father sues the landlord, and the lawyers for the landlord very smartly argue that the landlord doesn't own the dog and therefore is not a keeper of the dog and is also not within the mass dog bite statute, which only holds owners and keepers of dogs responsible. Good argument. But the Mass Appeals Court, the second highest court in the land, looked at the case and found differently. They found that while it's true that the landlord is not the owner or keeper of the dog, that basic principles of negligence and the landlord's duty to keep their tenants safe from reasonably foreseeable harm from the property did allow the case to go forward to a jury on the question of, did the landlord breach that duty to keep their tenants safe, given all the evidence of the prior interactions with the dog and what the dog had done in the past. Should this landlord have taken the steps to have removed that dog or caused it to be removed to keep the tenants safe? So, based upon this decision, yes, absolutely. This court has decided that you can bring a claim against your landlord, assuming there's enough evidence that you've been building a case to prove that there's a dog on the property, the landlord has been made aware of it, the dog has either attacked or exhibited vicious propensities, and the landlord knows about it, and then then the dog goes and bites someone, either you or someone you know. Now, would it apply to non-tenants? I'm not really sure. Again, these cases are very, very fact specific, which is why I spent the time going through them. I will post the citation for you all to read on your own. Again, the case is Nutt versus Florio, 75 Mass Appeals Court, 482. So if you or someone you know has been attacked by a pit bull or a dog, and you want to know if you go after your landlord, give me a call. My number's posted below. You can message me on Facebook, share with your friends, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, be well and be safe.